was your reaction?
My reaction was like, okay, fine. You spent, okay, I didn't actually like know about the 4 million part. I was like, okay, fine, why is she destroying the old place and all of that? I was like, okay. So when I read the old story, I was like, damn, you use 4 million naira to renovate some place. And you have to like tear it down. Like, I don't know, there's this Yoruba word like I don't want to use that word. Because how can you build something with your hands and say, okay, fine, I want to destroy it? What's your gain from it? I know that you are like, you feel.
Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Vigilant Podcast, where we'll talk about civic matters and we'll also talk from other people's perspective. I'm your host, Olaito Baba today, and with me as usual is the ever gorgeous and beautiful Melanie Poppin, the queen herself, all the way from Ibadan. Olaito Adebayo, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
All right, so guys, let me just tell you this. She's all about the economy, what's going on in Nigeria. So if you're interested, if you want to know more about Nigerian economy, just go on this channel, subscribe, and watch her on Market Square. You will see that she's not always this,
I'm serious.
Goofy. She's always serious on Market Square. So anyways, today we're talking about tenancy law. There's a video going viral on the internet where a lady vandalized an apartment where she was going to use for a shop or something like that. Then she vandalized the whole building because after renting out the place, the landlord asked her to evict the place. And because of that, she reacted. And her reaction was destroying the whole thing. Now, we're asking the question, was it revenge? Was it even legal at all? And was it justice? I would like you guys to tell me your own opinion about it in the comment section. Did you think she overreacted? So before we move on, we'll be talking about tenancy law itself. Like, what are the laws? What is the law saying about, tenant rights and all that? And so I have here that as a tenant, you have the right to request a written tenancy agreement outlining terms like rent amount, duration, and responsibility. And also, a landlord must serve a proper notice to quit if they wish to terminate the tenancy. So even after a valid notice to quit, the landlord cannot forcibly evict a tenant.
Okay.
So looking at this now, looking at the situation that happened between the lady and the tenant, because in the video, which will be displayed while we're talking, the man got angry, was about fighting the woman. And, because people support her, that people said that what the landlord did was wrong, she was able to get out of the place without any injury, any scratch. But then I would like to know, when you saw this video, what was your reaction?
My reaction was like, okay, fine. You spent, okay, I didn't actually like know about the 4 million part. I was like, okay, fine, why is she destroying the old place and all of that? I was like, okay. So when I read the old story, I was like, damn, you use 4 million naira to renovate some place. And you have to like tear it down. Like, I don't know, there's this Yoruba word like, I don't want to use that word. Because how can you build something with your hands and say, okay, fine, I want to destroy it? What's your gain from it? I know that you are like, you felt betrayed, you were not like happy about what happened, but I guess that's not the right approach to the main issue, because you should have called, okay, fine, the law enforcement, this is what happened and all of that. Even though you might not even actually like be the receiving end, like the person that will actually like come out with probably the money, because the landlord, the landlord don't pay the money actually, like there's nothing that can be done. But then tearing up the place, like just because you won't refund, you won't get your money back. There's nothing. So what's the point? Okay, so you know what they say about when you're not in the situation, you cannot understand the person. But then,
so I'd like to ask, if you were to be in that situation, what would you do?
I can never tear the place down. I know that, okay, fine, I can be angry. I can be like, oh my God, what's happening? Oh my God. But then I feel that I can just like, okay, I'm not a social media kind of person, but I felt at that moment, I'll be like, okay, fine, let me just video this thing. Let me tell the world what is happening. And I can actually get people's like backing from this thing and all of that. But saying out, like, the only thing that will come to my mind is, okay, fine, I labored for this 4 million naira.
Yeah, sure.
So what will happen when I tear the whole place down? And even at that, while destroying the place, I might actually destroy something that actually belongs to the man. And even if I don't, the man will be like, oh, when she was destroying this, he did that, and all of that. So where's the evidence? I don't have evidence to prove that, okay, fine, I did not do this. So in my own, if I was in that shoe, I actually call somebody like probably the law enforcement. I'll try and be a good person, but
a good law-abiding citizen. But actually, I feel like talking about the social media, there are times that when you even reach out for help on social media, if you did not touch the people emotional aspect, you might not get people to, support you and fight for you. So I feel like in that situation, if she had just recorded the whole thing, people might not react to it.
I guess it was the tearing of the place and
that
the amount of, okay, fine, I spent 4 million naira to renovate this place. That was what caught people's attention. Okay, fine, you use 4 million naira to like renovate somewhere.
So a place that is not
is not your own.
Yeah.
People, I don't know. So looking at the situation, do you think she went into this renovation with trust or ignorance? Because eventually, like, you don't have any written document to back this thing up and you just like renovated the place.
Okay, so I can't say that there is no written agreement, but with the way the things panned out, definitely there was never a written agreement. But a situation whereby you got an apartment for a year already, and then you feel like, okay, I want this place to look even better than it is,
only
and
comfortable.
My standard of living is definitely different from what is there, so let me renovate it. But then I would also say using 4 million naira to renovate a house that is not yours is actually far-fetched. But if you have the money, why not? So I feel like it is not out of ignorance, it is out of trust. And it might be out of ignorance if she doesn't know her rights, which means that, okay, if you want to do this, have you reached out to the landlord? Have you inquired about, okay, I want to do this. Am I allowed to do it? Have you gotten permission from him? So that might be the ignorance aspect of it. But then I feel like she did that because of trust, because she knows that this is my building for a whole year. And after a year, definitely I'm going to retain this place. So I can use it for another 1 year, 2 years and all that till I get my own place. So I think it's from a place of trust.
Okay.
All right. So I would like to know. So let's talk about the 4 million naira, because that is the real bone of contention. That's the elephant in the room.
Let's address it.
Do you think it is a wise investment that you put so much money like that into a place that you do not own?
Okay, fine. Firstly, investing in, I won't call that an investment.
Okay.
Because renovating a place that's not your own, it's not an investment, because eventually you leave the place, you move to another place, and you definitely want to renovate the place later. But I would say, okay, fine. Some people, when they get an apartment, they want to make it homely, make it comfortable, especially when they are using it for a business. Just imagine I want to I want to use it for a boutique.
Yeah, I think the lady's video, the both of them actually want to use that place as a shopping mall or something like that, as a store.
As a store, yeah. So definitely I want to renovate it, make it look appealing to people that want to come. So, there's one thing that actually everybody does it. The moment I want to go to a place, once I see that the aesthetics is bad, I'm like, they can't sell good things. Yeah. But the moment I say, oh my God,
look at this. No matter the amount they call it for you want to buy it.
I need to buy this thing. So I feel that that's actually the normal thing people do. Once you get an apartment, once you get a store, once you get a shop, the next thing that comes to your head is, okay, fine, I want to renovate this place to make it look presentable to people. So I would say what she did was actually a normal thing. I feel the landlord was the one that actually said, okay, this thing is actually nice. But then, why will you move that way? Why the landlord move that way? So some people blame the landlord. Others blame the tenant. Do you think there's a clear villain in this story? Is it the landlord or the tenant?
Okay, so definitely in this story, there's a clear villain. Because I think I heard the story of a lady who got an apartment to renovate the place. Now the house is looking nice and looking very beautiful. Sharp. Now this landlord's wife saw the new apartment and she said to her husband, let's take back this place. I want to live here.
But are we still talking about the situation or another situation?
It is another situation entirely. When I was talking about this, want to talk about this on the podcast, and someone said the story like that, okay, it is even the landlord's wife now that said, okay, I want this apartment. I want to move into this apartment. So you have to evict her so that we can move into the apartment. So I feel like in this situation, the landlord is definitely the villain. Yeah. Even if you like the apartment, the best you can do is you can't retain this place more than a year. Yeah. So it means the next year you're not paying for this place. And I feel like the landlord also did this in order to exploit other people. Yeah. Okay, imagine you giving an apartment to someone and then they renovated it, and a month later you're telling them to leave the place. This means that every renovation that's in that house, by the time you're going to lease a house a house out again,
Yeah.
you're going to list that at a higher price.
Definitely. It's only at that price.
So now, please help me understand my gain as the tenant, because you're not going to refund my money back to me. You evicted me. I have to go get another place. I have to go renovate the place, because now you're going to even if you're going to refund me, you're just going to pay me the amount I paid you when I got the place.
You won't pay for
but
the
now that
renovation.
you're going to be leasing the place out over again, you're getting the amount I used to renovate. You're getting the amount you collected from me from the get-go. So which means I am on the losing end. So I feel like in this situation, the landlord is the actual villain. But I would also say that, yes, the lady overreacted, destroying those things. But I feel like as a human being, even if I were to be in a situation, I would think about it. Even if I don't do it, I would think about it like, maybe I should go and destroy everything. Let everything scatter. So I would definitely think about it. But taking the action, it would take the fact that you know God to not take the action.
You have to know God to do that.
Exactly.
If you don't know God,
you have to
destroy the place.
Jesus did not tell me to do this. So because of that, you might not want to do it. But looking at it from the human aspect, I would think about it.
I'll definitely think about it. But if you just take everything in me not to do it, that's just
Okay, so now let's talk about the tenancy rights. I feel like most times, I think I read out some things earlier, there are more laws when it comes to, and it even differs according to states. So I would want to tell everyone here, employ you all to go read tenancy rights in your state. It is quite important, because recently Sanwo-Olu also passed another law in Lagos State, which I don't know if this is for the good of the people, but then there's one that I believe that is for the good of the people, which says that as an agent, as the landlord, you must not collect more than 10% of the annual fee from your tenant, which means that one is actually good, which means that if I want to if I want to lease out a house, for 200,000, or if I want to get an apartment for 200,000, it only meant that you can only add 20,000 as an agreement fee, and so I know that I'm only looking for
that's the only thing I actually like.
Yeah, I like that one. But the other one that says that tenants should pay every month.
We're in Nigeria now.
Yeah, we're in Nigeria. So I really do not think, I can't make sense of that yet. Who is this law for? Is it for the people or against them? Because I can't imagine. I can't imagine getting an apartment, paying for a month, renovating the place, and after a month, the landlord is saying move out. So at that point, I feel like I don't have any right to fire him, because I only paid for a month. So we would like to know more about that later. But then I feel like people should also, know more about this thing. So I would like to know, how many people read the tenancy agreement? I know that you're not staying with your parents, you actually got an apartment. So by the time when you were about to get an apartment, did you read the tenancy agreement?
I didn't check it. I didn't really, all those things we see on our phone. I'm like, okay, fine. Do you agree or accept?
Yeah.
We don't read it.
Accept.
And move on. Just move on to the next place. That's the same issue with this tenancy agreement. I didn't get a receipt for my house.
For your house.
I didn't get a receipt for my apartment.
So it means your landlord can come to there and change your house.
I was even thinking about, okay, fine, what if this one comes and like, okay, I'll move out. Mommy, there's no evidence to back up my whatever over there. Yeah. So I feel that people should start with India. With this situation, anything in Nigeria, basically anything, there should be evidence to back it up.
Yeah.
You are even doing transaction with somebody, let there be evidence. See, it's not about all this. It's not about an apartment only. Probably you're doing a business with somebody. There should be an agreement. There should be an evidence, because people work with evidence now, like, okay, fine. Give me that your evidence that you actually did this and all of that. And even with evidence, this is Nigeria, we know this country is somehow. So even if you have evidence, you're still not going to get whatever you want to get. So, but at least to some certain extent, get this evidence. And at least from a starting point, just read this tenancy agreement. I know it's not something we want to do, but at least let us read it.
Yeah, talking about the proof that you said, there's a carousel that will be uploaded on our media page where we talk about before you renovate an apartment, read through this.
Yeah.
So I would employ everyone to go read that, just read that for your sake.
Okay, so do you think landlords take advantage of tenants who upgrade their spaces?
Yeah, I think they do. Like the story that I told you, I think they do.
Yeah.
But then, there are times that you might be lucky to get a landlord that is actually good. Like when I say good, this people.
Even my landlord, good. When I got my apartment, she was like, okay, you can pay for the next year and all of that. Okay, I'll retain this place. And I think a few months, like 2 months ago, she was like, if you have anybody that wants to get an apartment after this, I was like, ma, I would like to retain it. She was like, we didn't talk about that. I was like, okay, fine. I can't say I was like, you said this, but she said she didn't say, but I don't have any evidence. So back that, okay, fine, ma, you said I'll be able to retain this space. But obviously, I don't know why you only want to make me rent the apartment for just a year. And that's because you want to collect another agreement again, another commission again for a year. Like, why are people moving? Like agents and landlords, why are you guys moving this way?
As much as I can say that, well, my landlord is nice, but then, there was a situation that happened. I was having issue with my apartment, and that's why they say when you want to get an apartment, please make sure that you go through the whole thing, check everywhere, and make sure everything is fine.
But if you're like, maybe you're in
you're in haste to get an apartment,
like you want to just move out,
exactly. So most times you even pick the wrong thing.
I can actually remember when I wanted to get an apartment one time, and the agent took me to somewhere that place only had one window. Okay. I wanted to get an apartment.
You said you were going to take
it. And the place to my workplace is about 30 minutes or 45 minutes. I was like, And they was like, if you walk slowly, you can get to the place. But actually, I didn't actually get the apartment. I got another one. But then I feel that when we want to check when we want to get an apartment, check everything.
Yeah, regardless.
Don't just be in an ace. Just check everything.
So now that he repaired some things in the house, and I think a situation happened whereby I was not able to thank him immediately because I was on the phone when the whole thing happened, and then I came in. He saw me on the phone and I said, okay, once I'm done with my call, I should come back. So immediately I came back to him and he was like, that he did some things in my apartment. I didn't say thank you. I was like, okay, sir, I don't even want to give an excuse because it was obvious I was on the phone, sir. If I was not on the phone, definitely I would say thank you very much. And he said that, and that is the last time I will be doing anything in that room. And I was feeling in my head, okay, so if I renovate this place and I move out, will I take everything I did?
Definitely won't.
So why are you making it look as though you're doing me a favor by renovating your own apartment, your own house, sir?
I don't know the way they're always moving. They're always moving one kind of way that I don't even understand.
So guys, that will be all on today's episode of Vigilant Podcast. I'm sure you're able to learn one or two things about your right as a tenant. And also, please make sure that you read the agreement. It is important so that they will not evict you and you would not even know you're on your right. So at least let's take our time. They used to say something like when you don't want an African man to read something, to know about something, just hide it between book. Please, when it comes to you renting an apartment, don't apply that theory. It doesn't work because at the long run, you might be at the losing end. Now, Lighton, thank you very much for joining me on the show.
It's been a pleasure. So when you want to rent an apartment, make sure you read the tenancy agreement.
So don't be like Lighton. Read your agreement.
I'll definitely go home to go read mine.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. All right, until the next, do have a wonderful weekend.